Hello and welcome to another plan with me. This week I'm planning for, where is my picture? Here we go. I'm planning for the week of the 15th to, I genuinely can't read what these letters say, they're foiled, and the screen grab I've got, the 15th to the 21st of April, the screen grab I've got of my spread, they're at like the angle where you can't see what the foil is. So I'm planning for this week in April, and I've used the gorgeous blossoming kit, which is artwork from Kittenish Girl Jess, and I am obsessed with this spread, this kit, the artwork. The colours are amazing, like they pop so well. I used hollow foil with it. I've got the spring foil pack. The toolbox is just stunning. It's like an extra long toolbox. Normally I do, like, they're the size of like 1.5 of a regular box, but this one is like 2 full boxes because of the way it was on the extra sheet, and it's just such a stunning kit. I love the little puppy, the little golden retriever puppy. But yeah, it's just such a gorgeous spring kit. I wasn't really sure when I was going to be able to fit this into my lineup, and kind of put it in as like a last minute change. But this was the week that Taylor Swift released the Tortured Poets Department album, which ended up being a double album, like as a surprise on the day. It was so exciting. So although this spread is really like not related to that at all, I just really wanted like an excuse to use a pretty kit, and I don't know, I think it looks super pretty. I didn't really have an alternative kit for this week either, because I did see that Milk and Berries had released a Tortured Poets Department artwork literally the day that I filmed this. So my options were like delay filming this and make myself a kit with that art, but because it's like themed around Taylor Swift, I can't sell it because it's copyright infringement, so I would just be making a kit for myself, and I didn't really want to delay filming, so that's why I chose this kit, which is a really long and drawn out way to say that. But anyway, I love how it looks. So I started on Monday by doing a stock take, and I just marked that with a little like envelope icon from the kit, and I am using custom scripts from my shop. This is one of the new fonts. I actually think it looks fairly similar to like the cursive font that I have in my shop as like a default, but I just think this one has like just a little something about it that makes it look just like slightly different. So I really wanted to release it even though it's like kind of similar. So I marked that. Then we went to Sainsbury's, and this was funny because if you are a Formula One fan, one of the sponsors for Mercedes, I don't know how you say it, it's like Ineos or something, and I have no idea what I thought they made, but we went into Sainsbury's, and as you go in they have the aisle where like all the offers are and the seasonal items, and it was cleaning themed and really needed soap. So we were like, oh, let's just like look at the featured soaps, and there was a brand that looked really kind of scientific and cool and like forward thinking and like really drew me in. I was like, that looks really good, let's get that soap. It ended up being the brand Ineos, or however you say it, basically the Mercedes sponsor. So I think that like subconsciously my brain remembered that I've seen it on the cars like every other week or however often I watch F1, and then my brain was like, yes, this is a good brand. So really want to congratulate them on their subliminal marketing or whatever they do. So I just marked that because I thought it was funny, with a little bunny rabbit who's like in bubbles, so like clearly like a bath sticker, but I thought it was funny. Then I placed a Matalan order. I was very influenced by someone I saw on Instagram. They'd ordered this like wicker window box, and it's got like scalloped edges. It looks really cute, and I wanted it for in my kitchen. I have like the junk area of my kitchen like counter. I currently have like, well, I used to have like a circular fruit bowl, and because it's circular it's really annoying to like, it doesn't fit against the flat wall basically. So I wanted this window box for that, so I ordered that and a few other bits and bobs, mainly for my stall at Plannerface, which is slowly creeping up. I think it's like 45 days today. And then I marked that I did some designing, and I spoke to my dad because he'd asked me to look up some hearing aid stuff, because he has like NHS hearing aids, but they really kind of, the ones he's got he doesn't really get on with. So he was like asking me about like private options, so I'd looked up and done some research for him, but like they're really expensive and I don't really know enough about them to sort of inquire, so it would be a case of like sending him into a shop anyway. So I was like, when you go for your checkup at the NHS, like just explain what you don't like about yours, because I'm sure they must have alternative solutions. And he has actually been now since, and they were able to offer him like something else, it's like Bluetooth or whatever, so he's going to try those and hopefully he will get on better with them. But I did some research this night. And then the last thing I marked was that I did some printing and cutting. So one thing I didn't show you, I don't think for the last couple of palm of these I haven't like flipped through the kit, I've just kind of got straight into the plans. And I think I had sort of some leftovers of the blossoming journaling kit from when I used it in my journal, obviously. I call it my journal, it's just my daily planner. I've recently, like literally as of like 2 weeks ago, started incorporating a little bit of journaling. I'm just trying to write in it like throughout the day if I have like a thought, rather than trying to make it this big thing where I feel like I have to write like paragraphs and paragraphs, because I can't really do that. But like it's definitely getting easier to actually journal in it. But it's basically my daily planner where I just write like my to-dos and stuff. But I did use my journaling kit in that. So I had some leftovers, and because I was colour blocking, I thought it might be fun to sort of pull some bits and bobs in that I wouldn't normally use in a vertical kit. So that's what that little scalloped box is. But on Tuesday, the first thing we did was work on collating some kits, and Tom helped me with that. And I did some mystery work this day as well, so I've marked that with a spring laptop emoji. I did some more printing and cutting this day, probably for the mystery. And then I had my nail appointment, so I marked that on a little thing with a foil alarm clock. And then I was messing around with the graph deck, and I really wanted to change the wheels, which they're like little rubber wheels that pull the sheet back and forward when it goes in the machine. And you do have to sort of replace them kind of annually. They get wear and tear. If you don't clean the machine, they get worse wear and tear. And if you leave them down, like in the position where they're squished against the machine, they get more wear and tear because it's putting like pressure on them. But mine have lasted over a year, which I was very pleased with. Luckily, I'd purchased some replacements because like I like to have the consumables on hand. So I went to go and change them, and then I was like, I don't know how to do this. And I YouTubed it, and there was like nothing on YouTube about it. There was a few things for like other machines, but not my machine. And I was like, I don't want to just start doing things, because the instructions I found were like quite major changes. They were like, unscrew this and then do this, and I was like, I don't think I should be doing all that, and it seems too complicated. So I just rang GraphTech. It's giving when Chris is like, why don't you just call Taylor up? I was like, why don't I just call GraphTech up? And I did, and then the guy that I got didn't know. And I was like trying to explain that even though I do have the automatic feeding GraphTech, the cutter is the same as like the cheapest GraphTech that they make. It's just the feeder that kind of changes it. And I was like, well, it is just still the cutter. And he was like, oh, I don't deal with the F mark. Like, you're going to have to wait for James, who is the F mark guy. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just marked that I was confused because I was very confused. And then, so I didn't get my answer, but they were going to email me. And then I marked that I watched some YouTube. So I am lagging behind. On Wednesday, I marked that I had my singing lesson. And then on... after that, I packed the mystery because we are in the middle of the month, so mystery was shipping. And then luckily I got an email back from James. So he clarified a couple of things and was like, is this really what you're trying to do? Because I had asked, and now that I know how to do it, it was extremely simple, like too simple to probably need customer service. But if you've never done it before, and when it's a machine that like is kind of I heavily rely on the GraphTech. If I do anything to it that like means it can't work for a bit, that really throws me off. So I was glad I asked. But anyway, he was like, are you just trying to change the wheels? And I was like, yes, because he thought I was trying to change the entire kind of mechanism that attaches to the wheels, which is a whole other thing. And I was like, no, literally just the little consumable wheels. And he was like, right, so you just like press this little thing in and then they pop out and you can just swap them. So he literally answered my question like in like one sentence. Anyway, so I marked that I changed the wheels. Then this day I had my Matalan order arrive that I'd placed on the Monday, And I'd ordered 2 of those little scalloped window baskets because they were really cute, and I just wanted 2 of them. I was going to use one on an actual window, one in the kitchen, like I said. And one of them arrived super squished, and because they are like quite a stiff metal, but the wicker is around it, it wasn't like I could just like unsquish it and reshape it back to how it was. So I got on live chat and just explained, and I was like, can I have an exchange? And they were like, what did they say? Something about, they were like, what's your closest store? And I was like, well, it's Leicester, but I ordered it, so can I just send it back and you send me a replacement? And they were like, oh, we don't do exchanges online, you have to just send it back for a return and then order it again. But I had spent a certain amount that meant I got like free shipping, so I would have to then pay shipping again. So I wasn't really very pleased with that. And then, side note, I tried to get a VAT receipt because I'd ordered stuff for the business, and they were like, no, you can't have a VAT receipt. And I'm sure they're supposed to give me a VAT receipt, but anyway. I marked that I was annoyed, basically. And then in the evening, I'd done some die cuts, I think probably for the mystery. Right, I have slowed the footage down because, I don't know, I must be feeling chatty today. So, on to Thursday. I marked in the morning that I had packed some orders and I was going to ship them when I shipped, I think probably the mystery. And then this day, I realised that Facebook had done an update recently. I don't know if you've noticed, if you use Facebook Messenger, like if this has happened to anyone else. It did an update where it was some like end-to-end encryption thing, and you had to like accept it, and then you have to put like pin codes in all of your devices, and it's meant to sync your chats once you've done that. So I did that, and then I basically just lost all my chat history. And I used to search my chats a lot, because if I forget something, I know that I've told someone, so I'll search my Facebook Messenger chats and find the information. Like I'm like a detective for my own life, and it's now gone. I can't search Facebook. And it's really annoying because Tom and I, like, we've always just used Facebook Messenger. That's like where we talk. And so we have like 10 years of messages that I now can't search. And I don't know, I'm hoping they'll fix it because it's really kind of annoying. So I marked that I was annoyed about that. This day, Nella had sneaked that she was, I don't know if it was the first sneak or if she just mentioned it again, but she mentioned that she was doing a Neopets themed art set. And I was like, oh my God, like every now and then I go down this rabbit hole where I try and access my old Neopets account, and I really, really want to get into it because it'd just be so fun, and I can't do it. Like the email I had when I made this account, it was basically like phased out by the ISP, so I can't access it, so I can't get the reset link. And if you go through customer service to try and gain access to an old account, they ask you really annoying stuff like, how many Neopoints do you have in your account? Who were your Neopets friends? When did you last message them? What food is in your inventory? And I'm like, I don't know, like I was a child, I just want to get back in. Like I can pinky promise it's my account. So I'm so sad about that. I took Ari on a little walk this day, and we had McDonald's for dinner because we watched June. I think it had just come out on like streaming. Like I think we paid for it though. I don't know, on like a Sky thing. So we watched June Part 2 because I think I said in a previous plan with me, when Tom went to watch it at the cinema, I was like really feeling not very well, so I didn't end up going. And yeah, so I saw it this day. It was really good. I'd only recently watched Part 1, thankfully, because I think I would have lost the plot. Like I struggle to follow stuff at the best of times, but yeah, it was really good. And yeah, so that was the end of Thursday, and I really liked the way I marked that. So I had one of the little post-its from the journaling kit, and I put 2 like movie watching emojis either side. It looks so cute. Like one thing I've been doing with my spreads in my memory planner is trying to like go a little bit out of my like normal formula and like try fun things, and like if it doesn't work it's fine, I can pull it back up, but just like not do like my normal like rigid sticker placement. I'm trying to like make it more fun, and it's so much more fun. Like I'm really glad that I'm doing it. So on to Friday, the big day of the week, because it is the Tortured Poets Department day. The album came out, it was like 5 a.m. our time, so I didn't watch it straight away. Oh my God, I just dropped an overlay on my planner. Luckily it was fine. I feel like I've done so many like weird things. I stuck it the wrong direction, so I trimmed it the wrong direction. If you can see, it's too wide. It's because I trimmed it long ways instead of width ways. Like I just did so many weird things in this like batch of filming. I was like, I could make an oops compilation. So yeah, that's me struggling with the underlay. But yes, so the new album came out, it was so good, and then I think by the time I'd woken up, we already knew that there was another half of the album, and the first half was definitely my favourite, like early on, because it's kind of more like poppy. And oh my god, is that the door? I've been waiting for a package. If this is my package, I swear to god. No, false alarm, it was just the dog barking at nothing. Yeah, so the first half was definitely like my favourite to begin with, and the second half has grown on me, but I think the first half's still my favourite still. So yeah, I marked it as a double album, and then I didn't really have much to mark this day, so I'll probably speak about it a bit more in like later videos, but I am changing up my approach to memory planning. I'm trying to mark things that are more kind of, I'm trying to think about what future me would actually care about when looking back in my planner. Like, do I really care when I washed my hair? Not really. But is it more important that I mark like funny things and like little anecdotes? Kind of. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing. But like at this point, my notes were still very much like matter of fact, what did I do? So that, I mean, we'll see how I go. Maybe I'll change it. Maybe I'll do bits of both. I don't know. But so I might do a post run. And then I released new custom scripts this day. So because I was still working on the Ultimate Planner sale orders, I didn't really do new releases. So we just did 6 new fonts. And this is one of the new fonts, I believe, that I'm using in this video. And then I thought I would mark my ranking for the album, like my favourite songs. And if you hate like song acronyms, I'm really sorry. So my top ranking song, and this was how I felt at the time. And honestly, I think maybe they're probably still very similar, but anyway, my favourite song was I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Then my second favourite song was Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, which is possibly now number 1, and my third was Guilty as Sin. So highly recommend, but I just there's so many good ones, it's really hard to rank them. And now that we know the changes that she's made to the tour, like I'm so excited for the Torture Pro Department section, like I cannot contain myself. And then in the evening, we watched the sprint qualifying for the Formula 1 race, which was in China this week. And it was really weird because I went to the London School of Economics, that was my university. And when we were watching the sprint qualifying, they like zoomed in on the crowd, as they always do. And they showed a man who was holding an LSE branded phone case. And I didn't even notice, like we were just watching, and then Tom was like, wait, that's LSE. So we rewinded it and I got a picture. But yeah, just small world. I mean, it's not really like it's such a big uni, but yeah, I just thought it was fun. I love like just spotting things like that. So on to Saturday, it seemed to have caught up, so hopefully I have enough to say. In the morning, I called my dad. I don't know what it was about. Maybe it was still to do with hearing aids. So I think he was like still asking me. He was unsure what he was going to do at this point. Like he didn't know if he was going to go back to the NHS. So I was like, I mean, I can come with you if it would help. Like, I don't know, but he's been now, so that's good. I then marched. I listened to the Torture Poets Department because kind of my life from like this point onwards, I was really not sure what I was going to do because like Ariana Grande's album had only recently come out a couple of weeks before, and I was like, I feel like I haven't had a chance to like listen to that to death yet, and now I've got a whole other album which then turned into a double album. I was like, how am I supposed to contain myself? And we went to see Olivia Rodrigo in concert, like I don't know if it's this, I think it's the next, I mean, it could be like in 3 weeks time from this spread, but basically I was like, well, I haven't really listened to her since we booked the tickets. I was like, I have too much good music at this time, but it's never a bad problem to have. Then I watched a stream. So I really like watching producers react to music because I feel like they have like a really interesting take on the things they think about when they react to songs. So they'll look more about like obviously the production and like the instruments and stuff. And I just find it really, so there's one I watched called HT Hayes, who is really good, and then there's another guy called Blake, and I like watching both of them because they're both producers, and it's just like I get an insight that I wouldn't get on my own. So yeah, he did like a live stream. He did it on Friday as well, so this was part 2, but I subscribed to his Patreon so I could watch it live, otherwise I would have just seen like the highlights on YouTube. I have no clue what I'm like faffing around at. I think I trimmed a little box wrong, so yeah, like I cannot get it to be the right length, and my like ceramic knife was giving me a lot of trouble, so I was trying to do it with scissors and I can't get it to fit. Yeah, so I just stuck the little extra bit back over and it looks fine. So this was because I didn't really have like enough things to write this day, but I wanted it to fit. So I then marked that I rearranged all of the last chance stickers. So I did this while I watched the stream, but like everything was just chaos in the last chance section. I believe I've added a couple of new things to it since. But now it's alphabetical because before it was in, like, they were in my storage, they were in order of release, but sometimes kits, if they like sell out quickly in last chance, I just remove them, but then the order gets like messed up. And I thought if they're alphabetical, at least if I know someone's ordered like a kit beginning with A and a kit beginning with F, I know that they're going to be in different boxes. So I did that and it took me ages, but it was well worth doing. So after that, I just put like a little strip of yellow washi in because I just needed to fill the gap and I didn't really have anything that would have like otherwise without it kind of looking a little bit too gappy. But then in the evening we watched a documentary on Netflix. It was about Jennifer Pan, who I think she's Canadian, and I mean it's not really a spoiler because I feel like it's kind of obvious from the show like very early on, but basically she like murdered her parents. And we weren't that impressed with the Netflix documentary. If you watch JCS on YouTube, who is like a crime like psychology channel, he has I'm sure it's him, has a much better video on it where they like show you the footage of the like the interrogation and stuff. And yeah, like the Netflix one, it kind of missed a lot of information. Like we loosely knew the story and even we knew things that like weren't really included. But it was okay. I feel like sometimes Netflix does like not that great crime stuff compared to like what else is out there, especially for free on YouTube. Like there's so many good crime channels nowadays. Anyway, on to Sunday. I marked that the F1 race was in China, just with a little like journaling watercolour hexagon. So what? Yeah, 6 sides hexagon. And I layered a race car over it. I get through these race cars so quickly nowadays. And then I marked that Lando got P2, which was super exciting. And then I did this test. Like I love a personality test. And I know what I am in like the Myers-Briggs. I am ESFJ, and I don't remember what it means. I did at one point, but like it's pretty accurate. So then I did the Enneagram test and I got a 3W4. I haven't really looked into what it means, these results, but when I read like briefly about what it meant, I was like, yeah, that feels right. So yeah, if you're interested, a 3, I think the W is a wing, and I think it's possible that you could be like the opposite, like 4W3, but I think this one is me. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, like not an expert, just find them interesting. So I did that this day with a little thinking munchkin. I was like, how am I supposed to mark this? What character would work for this? And then on Sunday we played Stardew Valley because obviously there'd been the update, and I was absolutely desperate for a green rain day, which is one of the new updates. Is there is a moss, and moss is like a new like building material, but it's very hard to come by if you don't have a ton of trees, and we've never really built trees on our farm. Like now I have a tree farm, but until this point I hadn't, so we were starting from scratch with like new trees. And then green rain day is when it's like a weather event, and it basically just rains green and you get all these moss trees, and you get so much moss compared to how much you would get like normally trying to gather it, because it takes a while to grow. So your green rain day can be any random day in summer based on like, there's like maybe like 12 options of different dates that it could be. And like last week we played loads of summer and didn't get the green rain day, and then I was like, it has to be one of these days. So we finally got it this day, and I was so happy, and I was able to get the statue that I was trying to save up enough moss for. And to be honest, like kind of anticlimactic, the statue was not as good as I thought it would be, but it gives us like a fun buff each day, so that's fun. So this is what I've got left of the kit. Loads of random bits of the foil bundle. I need to spend a bit of time putting my foil extras in an album because I just keep the sheets. Like, I know I'm going to eventually put them somewhere, but not right now. So they're just It's just all piled up. But this is the completed spread. I love how it looks. I think the hollow was such a cute choice. Looks really pretty. The way it kind of glistens with all the rainbow colours. Like, hollow is so great for a rainbowy spread. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the plan with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!